G'day, I'm Troy, and this is the Comic Book Movie Collector's Guide, the show about collecting all things superhero cinema. And today, we're going to take a gander at Bananaman The Complete Series on DVD. And we're going to try and answer the question, is this Britain's best Bananaman budget blockbuster? Let's get into it. Bananaman is an animated superhero cartoon that went for 3 seasons, with a combined total of 40 episodes, with a runtime of 5 minutes each. It aired on the UK television channel the BBC from the 3rd of October 1983 through to the 15th of April 1986, with it also airing in the United States on the Nickelodeon cable network and also on the Australian television channel the ABC. The cartoon was released on DVD as a complete collection 3-disc set by Delta Home Entertainment on the 28th of June 2010, with no Blu-ray or 4K HD as of this video. It was written by Bernie Kay, with it being produced and directed by Terry Ward. The show was based on the comic strip character Bananaman, created by Stephen Bright, and the cartoon featured the voices of the British comedy group The Goodies. Okay, as we look at the case, I really like this. This is the Australian version, so maybe I'm a little biased because I think this is the better version out of the US and English versions. But I really do like this one. Very nice, bright, vibrant, it sticks out. Now, the spine, it looks good too. It sits nicely on your shelf like that. And of course, we have the back, same again, nice, bright, vibrant, gives you what you want. Now, if we look at the discs, they're relatively plain, I suppose. At least they're colour discs, and you've got Bananaman in there, and then you've got Crow and the young fella there as well. So, not bad at all. Overall, I really like the look of this. I love it with it just looks really good, it honestly does. So that's why I'm going to give this the score of 8 out of 10. Well, what can you say about the scripts and the story when each episode is only 5 minutes long? I could only imagine how hard it would be to write this show and give it any sort of substance when you've got so little screen time to work with to really show anything. So primarily this is a kids comedy show, and it's more about the cheap laughs than it really is about the superhero story.
They're just stupid drawings that give you a cheap laugh.
Now, it became clear to me by the end of watching all 3 seasons that each episode was kind of written around a joke or a pun. And, you know, that was the payoff at the end of the episode. So it was kind of like 5 minutes of setup just to crack a joke at the end. But when I say joke, we're talking very, very low dad level jokes here and puns.
Deliberately bad jokes. It's kind of genius.
But in saying that, this was for kids. So if you're an adult watching this and you're looking for more, you're in the wrong place.
How the hell did we get here?
Now, I will say that the first season did have some continuity, and each episode kind of not necessarily leads into the next, but there's like a continuing story. If you watch, you know, you got to watch the previous ones. But when we get into the second season, that's where the wheels just fall off. And each episode is just primarily contains within itself with no real reference to anything previously. And then to top it all off, halfway through the season, they play the pilot episode right in the middle of the season, which makes no sense. And then at the end of it, you got a bloody clip show at the end of season 2. So look, it was a bit of a mess, but by season 3, they kind of worked out what the show was about and just kept it to self-contained episodes, which was okay.
This time I'm sure I've got it right.
So it was a mixed bag. Some eps were better than others, but they were all very simple at the end. So look, I'm only going to give this a 10 out of 30. Now, this show is a straight up parody of the superhero genre, with very obvious piss takes of characters and situations across the board, like your Superman, Batman, etc. The show itself is based off the Bananaman comic strip that features in the 80s UK comic magazine called Nutty. And from what I could find out, it's a very accurate representation of the character from the strip, but there were 2 small things that they did change for the show that weren't in the script, and that is Bananaman's alter ego was called Eric Twinge in the show rather than Eric Wimp in the comics. And also in the show, they decided to give him a love interest in the form of Fiona the newsreader when he was Bananaman.
Thanks again to Bananaman, wherever you are.
Right here, Fiona.
Though I did notice that there was some parallels to another superhero that pokes fun at the superhero genre, and that is, yep, the Tick. So let's have a look. Blue suit, super strong and invulnerable, really dumb, and both have sidekicks that are the brains of the operation. So Bananaman was created first, so do you think that maybe Ben Edlund used him as an inspiration, maybe?
I didn't see my bar.
Anyway, the voice cast were just 4 people, which I'll have the list up here of everyone that they played. But the goodies, which are Tim Brooke-Taylor, Graham Garden, and Bill Oddie, were great. They did a great job. And Graham as Bananaman just killed it for me. He did such a good job. He was spot on. So for that, I'm going to give this 18 out of 20. So this had no special features, just the episodes, which is a bummer, as I would have loved to have watched even just a little retrospective on the show from the creators and the goodies and seen how they went about putting the show together. I think that would have been really a nice touch. Anyway, as this is special features and there is none, all I can give it is 0 out of 10. Now, the critic score came in at 0% and the audience score came in at 0%, as well there was nothing on Rotten Tomatoes. But IMDb to the rescue yet again, and they have a score of 6.7 out of 10, which is not too bad for what the show is. I mean, if you were looking at it from a real critical view of this, like a score of the show, it would be pretty low. But if you're looking at it, say, from that fun nostalgia angle, then I can kind of see where this score comes from. So look, if we round it up, we're going to get a score of 7 out of 10. So for me, I used to watch this as a kid back in the 80s on the ABC, which was usually on in the afternoons after Voltron, the Goodies, or the Real Ghostbusters. I can't remember exactly which, but it was kind of this filler in between each show because it was only 5 minutes long. And look, I was a fan of it. Then to finally own it on DVD, look, I wasn't disappointed. Sure, the jokes may be bad, but it just filled me up with that warm and fuzzy nostalgia vibes that I was looking for.
All right, let's get to that warm fuzzy part.
Now, if you're a fan of the Goodies, which I am, you should get a kick out of it. This cartoon is very much aimed at young kids though, so like I said before, keep your expectations low when you go to watch it.
As usual, our expectations are disappointed.
Now, I did watch all 3 seasons pretty well much at once, and you do notice that the animation is not that great, and they use the same animations and backgrounds over and over and over again. To which I found out in my research was to save money, as this was done on a very tight budget. And let's face it, when you're a kid watching this back in the day, watching it every other day or weekly, you probably wouldn't notice it.
You really think I wouldn't notice?
Anyway, it's a bit of early 80s fun. So for that, I'm going to give this 15 out of 20. So first up is collectability. And if we look at the collector scale, I would say this would be for your collectors and for your kids, with maybe some nostalgia collectors in amongst there, like myself, who used to watch it as a kid. But for any other collectors, I probably would say give it a miss, as it doesn't really have any rewatch value in it. Now, as far as availability on this one, this is on the average side of things, as it's not too hard to find a copy of, say, the individual seasons or the complete collection on, say, Amazon or your secondhand markets like eBay. As far as your average price goes, you're looking at somewhere between $10 to $45 for the individual seasons on DVD, or if you're looking for the complete 3-season collection, you are looking at somewhere between $49 to $100 for the DVD set, and that is depending on whether you get the Australian version or the UK version. And there is nothing, of course, out there for Blu-ray or 4K HD as of this video. Now, for the final score, we get a grand total of...
Wait for it.
58 out of 100. Now that's not a bad score at all, banana fans, for a bit of 80s nostalgia. So look, we asked the question, is this Britain's best Bananaman budget blockbuster? Yes, It's a great cartoon for its time. Just a lot of superhero parody fun, bringing the dad jokes left, right and centre. I think we should celebrate that score. What do you reckon, lads?
How about a drink, eh, boss? And you know where we'll go? We'll go to a nice little crowbar.
Hey, so if you like this video, I have some more reviews for you right there. Or maybe you'd like to see some of my collection updates. I've got you covered too. Why don't you check out that one there? And of course, don't forget to do the most important thing. Throw me a bat like, and don't forget to hit that subscription button on the way out. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.